Hello, it is your trans girlfriend, Boniface, Michelle too, and today we are going to talk about why I disappeared. Okay, so first of all, I missed you so much. Oh my God. If you are here from my Instagram, Boniface, that's my band, that's my music project. Oh my God. The past 3 years, not being able to share music with you has been absolute torture. You know, I've been recording a lot. I've been really creative, like making this podcast, that kind of stuff. But oh, the void in my heart that was created by not being able to play shows for you beautiful people. Wow, that really got to me. On the other side, just posting a couple weeks ago a hello, I'm back, and seeing the outpouring of people being supportive of the transition, who stuck around apparently on this deactivated Instagram page, I am just blown away. So thank you so much. Love you so much. I feel like I probably owe y'all a little explanation about where I went, what I was doing. Trigger warning, the last 3 years were not always easy for me. I'm gonna talk about some heavy life events, but we're gonna keep it light, have some fun, because fun is my middle name. Just kidding. My middle name is a boy middle name. I don't use it anymore. My real middle name is Tu, okay? Michelle Tu Visser. All right, that's my name now. Coming out to you. Congratulations, me. Let's get into it. The untold story of Boniface begins in 2016 when your girl, Michelle, is a very sad trans girl in a boy body. I was pretty miserable in high school. I had some great friends, but I was just really depressed a lot of the time. And I wrote songs about it. Little did I know, wow, I was going to stumble into a life-saving hobby, and that hobby was making music with pals and playing them for people. So starting in about 2016, I went to recording school, I got a band together. I realized how much joy you can experience by just sitting in a fucking room, jamming out some songs that you wrote, and seeing the expressions of people as they play their instruments, feeling joy. Pretty soon after I got a band together, we were like, all right, let's go play some shows. So we play some shows. This is when I realized how fun it is to play music for people, to play music for y'all. At the time, I wasn't like the healthiest, so jumping around on a stage, singing some songs really helped me complete some stress responses, really helped me exercise some demons in my body, because at the time, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and just trouble socializing because I felt very dysphoric. For those who don't know, dysphoria, that's when you feel a dissonance in your brain and your heart because your physical gender does not match your true gender. So I was dealing with that a lot, and I was writing about it in these songs. The band and I started touring Canada, just playing a bunch of tiny shows. I was releasing songs independently every once in a while, just having the absolute best time, finding community, having fun with my friends, seeing the country. The reason I say that saved my life is because I really needed a light at that time in my life. I was so lonely, and all of these amazing experiences and this amazing connection I was finding through music truly kept me alive in my late teens, in my early 20s, and it ended up going really well. By 2018, we were signed, we were playing Europe. You probably saw us at a lot of these shows if there are some people watching from the UK or Berlin or Chicago or Iceland. There were so many fun places that we got to travel during this time. Shout out Transgressive, shout out Royal Mountain for supporting us during this time in the way they could. Ended up dropping me, but no hard feelings. And I have to say, going from being an indie artist to a signed artist, touring a lot, in a lot of ways, it was a dream come true because I'd always dreamed about playing these larger shows to actual fans. But it was also a nightmare because I did not have very good boundaries when it came to work. So I was just burning myself out, y'all. Candle from both ends. I was exhausted. I was in emotional turmoil. Stepping on a stage is very fun. But again, when you're a closeted trans girl, there is some complicated emotions that come with that. I ended up drinking a lot to deal with my anxiety. It's everywhere. That's the issue with the music industry, is people assume that you want beer more than you want food or water. This is not accurate. please give your musicians the necessities for life and not a poison. So I ended up drinking quite a lot during that time, and I was just really tired, really burnt out, basically just operating off of adrenaline because things were happening. We were super busy planning the tours, booking the hotels. I was really feeling the energy and knew I had to keep going. Okay, so by 2020, we'd played Brixton Academy. We'd sold out a bunch of shows in Winnipeg. We had our headliner London show all planned. We were ready to put out this album that I had poured my heart and soul into, but I was a shell, to be honest with you. And I think you can see this in the assets for Boniface, is like I was really a shell. I had accumulated actually a lot of trauma during those years just because of a couple toxic business relationships and some personal issues. And the only thing that kept me going was I just loved it so much. I was really proud of the record I'd made. I wanted people to hear it and I wanted to keep connecting with an audience. So we put out the album. Despite my physical exhaustion, we planned this Europe tour. It's all booked. It's ready to go. The album has just gotten amazing reviews. The reviews were actually really good. Like, not trying to be an arrogant bitch here, but the album kind of got slept on, but not by you, okay? So it's all good. Anyway, so we're ready to tour, ready to go, and then we get a global pandemic. Okay, so our whole tour gets canceled. That's really devastating. We just put out the album like a month before. It was rough, lost thousands of dollars because we'd already booked hotels, etc. I'll save you the sob story. The pandemic was fun for no one and we were affected by it. I tried to keep my head up, kept recording for a while, but y'all, my lifestyle absolutely deteriorated. I was so used to just being in different places all the time. I was so used to touring. My lifestyle started deteriorating because I didn't have that structure anymore. So this is going to come as no surprise, but after all of this running on fumes and overworking, I completely burned out, had a huge breakdown. I'd just been dropped by Transgressive because the album didn't chart, even though it should have because of the great reviews. Okay, I'll stand by that. And I was also like, fuck, I was so exhausted living in this boy body, trying to make this boy body work for me. I had a lot of unprocessed trauma, a lot of unprocessed shame around my gender identity. I couldn't do it anymore. And I hate sharing this because I really did just get depressed as a bean, as a clam, as a shell. I was not moving. I was not making any changes in my life. I was too tired. To everyone out there who struggles with depression, I get it. I love you. You are so much stronger than anybody will ever realize because this is an intense personal battle that we all have to fight for ourselves. Just remember, there are people that love you so much. I love you so much. All of those trans girls or just anybody struggling with depression, it is a hard fight, but you are 100% worth it, okay? Don't give up, please. So I have this huge crying breakdown. I'm crying to my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm a trans girl and I'm so depressed and something needs to change. So we go to the doctor. We fight my doctor to get these hormones. We also throw some SSRIs, antidepressants into the mix because a girl's brain is fried and we are feeling a little bit better for a while. Whole subplot where we try to move to LA. We really tried. It was Joey, my friend Drew, and I. And it was just after restrictions started being lifted. And we were like, okay, we got to do it now. Restrictions have just started being lifted. We're moving to LA. So we get the visas and everything. There's somebody who's supporting the project at the time who's like, okay, we're going to help you out with anything you need. Going to Los Angeles. So we're like, fuck yeah, this is the time. We get dropped on the road to LA. I won't get into those specifics, okay? But bottom line is the music industry is really hard to find stability in. On the road to LA, we get dropped. We have nowhere to stay. We end up in Landers, California, which is the middle of nowhere in the desert in a RV because that is the only Airbnb we could find on short notice that's near to where we are. We spend 5 days in the desert. This is like Moses biblical shit where we are hallucinating from the heat because it's the middle of summer and we are having a very rough time in Landers, California, okay? It's so hot. I'm exhausted and burnt out from all of the disappointments I'd had in the music industry. I'm like, fuck, I just gotta go home. This isn't gonna happen. LA's not gonna happen. Time to go back home. She has another breakdown. Your trans girlfriend, Boniface, has another breakdown. And at this point, I'm pretty close to giving up. Like, I'd been off the internet for a solid, 2 years at that point. I was like, I think Boniface is just dead. I've tried to pull it back together, tried to get this thing going for a while. It's just done. I'm over it. And I was kind of in the depths for a while. But then something really interesting happened. I fucking took accountability for my own life, okay? I said, no, I'm not going to be a victim of my circumstances anymore. I am going to rise above this depression, above these traumatic experiences I've had. I am going to make something of myself. I'm going to be an inspiration to other trans girls. I'm not going to be another sad story. It was really in this darkness that I discovered the healing power of music. I'd experienced a lot of really fun, energetic, connecting power of music, but I had never experienced it as something that allowed me to process emotions and hard experiences, that allowed me to move pain through my body and actually heal me. I adopted my beautiful cat, Agatha, light of my life, and I really started to make my health a priority. I started doing yoga 5 times a day. I started doing Pilates. I started this podcast. I started making music again. These songs started pretty whack. I was just like, fuck these industry men, fuck these fuck these indie boys, fuck this toxic industry that led me to this place. It was really healing for me to process those negative emotions. But as it evolved and as I just kept writing and kept processing, I got to a much happier place, a more balanced place, and was able to just really truly reflect on a lot of experiences I'd had since I was a kid. And it ended up sounding a lot more like Boniface, and I was just able to reflect on a lot of hard experiences I've had since 2017 and make some fun fucking bangers. So I'm coming at you now in a much more balanced place in my life, a much healthier place in my life. The music is still emo, don't get me wrong, because I am a sad girl forever, but I feel like I actually understand the purpose of what I'm trying to do now, which is process and let other people know they're not so alone. So coming on May 2nd, Tuesday, I'll be dropping 2 songs that begin to scratch the surface of all of these crazy experiences I've had over the past 3 years. You're going to hear me exploring my gender identity. You are going to hear me just being extremely honest and vulnerable like I've always tried to be. But now without this barrier of gender dysphoria, I am just fucking going for it, okay? Pop star vibes. We have no money because we are completely independent right now, which means that your likes, your shares, your support will mean more than it ever has. But I'm also excited to be independent because there is now no barrier between me and the community of people who actually care about Boniface. I am so excited for that, and I think we have some amazing shows in store. I'm writing a lot more music now than I ever have before, so you can expect a lot of it. And I think this next chapter of Boniface is just going to be real as fuck. Really raw, really honest, and hopefully kind of avant-garde, okay? I am truly so grateful that people have stuck around despite the fact that I disappeared for 3 years and still want to hear music. I will not let you down. I am just gonna be giving you my all this album cycle, okay? Still don't really know what's next, but I am so excited for it. So please, when these songs drop, play that shit on loop. Share it with all your friends. We're not on a label, so I don't know how Spotify playlists are gonna go. But you know what's better than a Spotify playlist? A playlist by an actual human being, which is you. So let's get that shit poppin' if we feel so inclined. And either way, I have so much music for you. If you care to hear it, it's gonna be coming over the next couple weeks. Thank you so much for sticking around over the last 3 years. And I'm sorry for disappearing. Hopefully, this has given you a little bit of clarity on what was going on behind the scenes with Boniface, and hopefully you know why I had to step away and what's in store for the future. One thing is for sure, I'm going to be back here next Friday at 5 a.m. for another episode of Your Trans Girlfriend, my podcast. But if you are more of a music person, you don't fuck with podcasts, only music, Tuesday, May 2nd, we got a new song. So surreal. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Thank you so much. Love you. Wishing you the best today. Michelle too. Boniface, your trans girlfriend. I go by many names. Signing out with a hug and a kiss from me to you. Mwah.